boy, it sure would suck if I had to say all this again, wouldn't it? What's up, anime fans and manga readers? There are a lot of time loops in pop culture, from movies to TV shows to books and video games, and it's really not that hard to see why the concept is so enduring. As a storytelling mechanic, time loops are a quick and effective way to build intrigue among the audience and provide opportunities for exciting reveals and developments for each character involved. The thing about time loops, though, is that they're not particularly easy to get right. Without a well-thought-out mystery at its center, the entire narrative can fall apart, and without a compelling loop mechanic, the whole thing can end up feeling rather contrived. I'm sure most of us here can pick out a few movies or shows that handle this concept flawlessly. You know the ones: Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, Happy Death Day, that one episode of Supernatural where Dean kept dying over and over in the most stupid ways possible. Yeah, I watched Supernatural, judge me if you must, but as great as all these are, we're here to talk about anime, and in true anime fashion, we've gotten some really wild and weird interpretations of the concept of time loops. In today's video, we're going to be giving you a rundown of some of the best and craziest time loop shows in all of anime, and hopefully you walk away with something new and exciting to add to your watch list. Before we get to that though, we need to define exactly what counts as a time loop. For the purposes of this video, we'll keep it simple. A time loop is a phenomenon where a character or characters get to re-experience a period of time they've already lived through. In many cases, reliving experiences over and over. So, if a character travels back in time before they were born, that wouldn't exactly count as a time loop. Though it's technically in the past, the experience is totally new for the character. However, if they went back to, say, the previous morning, then it would absolutely be a time loop because that means they're reliving an experience they've already lived through. Now, I do want to say that some other anime shows play around with time loops like Charlotte, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and Madoka Magica, but time loops aren't the main things in these shows, or they're kept for a big plot twist, so they won't quite be making our list today. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get right into it. Our first entry is a fairly recent one, but it's not at all less interesting for that. Summertime Rendering follows Shinpei Eijiro, a young man who returns to his home island of Hiragashima for the funeral of his childhood friend Ushio. However, what starts as a somber reunion quickly spirals into a harrowing battle for survival as Shinpei discovers the existence of sinister beings known as shadows, entities that can mimic and replace humans. Shinpei discovers a unique ability to rewind time, but to activate it, he has to die first, which is kind of a crazy condition. Each reset brings him closer to unraveling the truth, but also raises the stakes as he learns more about the Shadow's terrifying plans. The show's pacing is razor sharp, blending psychological tension, action, and emotional depth while unraveling a deeply layered mystery. Combined with its stunning visuals and compelling characters, Summertime Rendering stands out as one of the best time loop anime and a showcase of tight, suspenseful storytelling. Next on our list is Sakura Reset. This anime takes an unconventional and thoughtful approach to the concept of time loops. Set in the city of Sakurada, where nearly everyone has some kind of special ability, the story revolves around Misora Haruki, who can reset time up to 3 days in the past, and Kei Sai, a calm and highly intelligent protagonist with a photographic memory. Their dynamic is unique. While Misora can reset events, she doesn't retain her memories of the previous timeline. Kei's ability allows him to remember everything, making him the perfect partner to make Misora's resets meaningful. The pair operates as part of the Service Club, helping others in the city while gradually uncovering a larger, more intricate conspiracy orchestrated by the mysterious Administration Bureau, which oversees and controls the use of abilities in Sakurada. Unlike typical time loop stories, Sakurada Reset prioritizes logic, dialogue, and moral questions, weaving a narrative that challenges the characters' and viewers' perception of cause, effect, and consequence. It's impossible to talk about horror anime without mentioning Higurashi When They Cry. It is a landmark anime in horror, infamous for its gripping and unsettling portrayal of paranoia, violence, and tragedy. However, most who haven't seen it don't realize it's got a time loop at the center of its mystery as well. The story takes place in the seemingly tranquil village of Hinamizawa, where a deadly curse is rumored to strike during the annual Watanagashi festival. Over the years, a pattern of mysterious murders and disappearances has left the villagers on edge, giving rise to a sinister atmosphere beneath the town's idyllic facade. The protagonist, Keiichi Maebara, moves to Hinamizawa and quickly adapts to its peaceful rural life, forming close bonds with several classmates. However, he soon uncovers the dark secrets lurking within the town, and as tensions rise, Keiichi and his friends are caught in horrific events tied to the curse, unraveling into gruesome chaos with every iteration of the narrative. One of the defining features of Higurashi is its time loop structure, where the story resets under specific conditions, offering different perspectives on the events and revealing new layers of the mystery with each arc. This mechanic allows for a deep dive into the characters' psyches, highlighting their strengths, flaws, and the extreme lengths they will go to under pressure. All of our entries so far have been pretty psychological in tone and presentation, and you might be tempted to believe that all time loop shows are devoid of action. Well, our next few entries are sure to prove you wrong. Tokyo Revengers blends drama and action effortlessly and offers a deep dive into Japanese gang culture. Takemichi Hanagaki, a 26-year-old underachiever stuck in a rut, is thrust into an extraordinary journey after a tragic accident seemingly ends his life. Instead of dying, Takemichi finds himself transported 12 years into the past to his middle school days, a time he was at his peak but also on the cusp of losing everything he held dear. Determined to change the tragic fate of his former girlfriend, Hinata Tachibana, Takemichi learns that he can alter the course of history by influencing key events in the past. With this newfound purpose, he becomes entangled in the dangerous world of delinquent gangs whose actions directly impact the events leading to Hinata's death. Each leap between past and present reveals how his efforts shape the timeline, sometimes with unintended consequences. In a similar vein as Tokyo Revengers, we have ReZero, starting life in another world. Regular viewers of the channel might already be familiar with this one. We made a video talking about it right here. This show follows Natsuki Subaru, a seemingly average young man who is mysteriously transported to a fantasy world. Unlike traditional isekai protagonists blessed with immense strength or divine tools, Subaru's return by death ability, while powerful, comes with heavy emotional and physical consequences. Subaru's unique power allows him to rewind time to a predetermined save point whenever he dies. But this gift is a double-edged sword. The nature of his gift, or curse depending on how you choose to see it, prevents him from sharing the details of his strange ability with anyone else, and so Subaru is often forced to endure immense suffering and trauma alone. Every loop brings him closer to his goals, but at the cost of witnessing the brutal deaths of his friends and loved ones, as well as his own harrowing demises. The constant resets take a severe toll on his mental state, pushing him to the brink of despair as he wrestles with guilt, fear, and self-doubt. What truly makes ReZero compelling is its exploration of Subaru's psychological journey. Unlike a conventional hero, Subaru is flawed, selfish, and often naive, yet his growth and determination to protect those he loves makes him deeply relatable. His relationships with a rich and diverse cast add emotional depth and stakes to the story. The next entry is perhaps the most unique on our list in terms of tone and style. The story follows an unnamed protagonist, an unreliable narrator who constantly rewinds time to relive his university years, seeking the perfect college life he feels he deserves. Each episode presents a different timeline in which the protagonist joins a new club or pursues a different path, only for things to inevitably go awry. Frustrated by his repeated failures, he blames those around him for his lack of fulfillment. Yet, as the loops progress, the show subtly reveals that the true obstacle to his ideal life isn't his circumstances or the people around him, but his own inability to embrace reality and take responsibility for his choices. What makes the Tatami Galaxy exceptional is its deeply introspective narrative. The time loops serve as a metaphor for the protagonist's inner struggles, forcing him to reevaluate his expectations and confront the truth about himself. The anime uses clever visual storytelling techniques, such as how the appearances of the people in his life evolve to mirror his changing perception of them. Characters, once seen as obstacles, become complex and sympathetic as the protagonist's perspective evolves over the course of the narrative. We'll wrap up our list with perhaps the most well-known time loop anime, a classic deserving of the title in every right, Steins Gate. This show stands as one of the most celebrated anime of all time for its intricate storytelling and masterful exploration of time travel. At its center, a college student, Okabe Rintaro, a self-proclaimed mad scientist who performs a seemingly harmless experiment involving a microwave, a phone, and believe it or not, some bananas. However, it quickly spirals into a high-stakes narrative about the dangers of altering the past. Okabe discovers that his invention can send text messages called D-mails to the past, effectively rewriting history. Initially, these changes seem small, but the cascading effects of his actions reveal the butterfly effect in devastating detail. The beauty of Steins Gate lies in its ability to balance personal stakes with the broader implications of time travel. As Okabe tries to save the people he loves from meeting brutal ends, his repeated failures place him under the immense emotional toll of carrying the weight of multiple timelines, and every change he makes only seems to lead to new tragedies. Through the chaos, though, a pattern begins to emerge, and Okabe believes he can find the singular timeline where he fixes everything. From mad scientists to international spies to cat girls and femboys, this anime has got it all. And to top it all off, it has perhaps the most satisfying conclusion of a time loop mystery in all of anime. Anyway, that's all we have for today, folks. Do you agree with our picks? Maybe there are some great time loop shows I left out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I sure hope I didn't leave any important things out, cause boy, it sure would suck if I had to say all this again, wouldn't it?